Welcome to the Special Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something literally everyone knows, but almost nobody really thinks about. We usually just dismiss childhood songs as these catchy little tunes to keep kids busy, right? But when you actually look at the source material, there is so much more going on beneath the surface. We're going to break down the hidden depths, the deep cultural touchstones, and honestly, the pure joy woven right into classic Hindi children's rhymes. You're going to be absolutely amazed at how much real education and wisdom is packed into these seemingly simple verses.
Okay, so here's our agenda for today. We're kicking things off with counting and elephants. Then we'll look at the cow and culture, followed by Madari and Chandamama. After that, we're going to gallop right into the horse's journey and wrap the whole thing up with a massive animal feast. Let's jump in.
All right, Section 1, Counting and the Elephant's Game. Before kids even realize they're doing math, they're being introduced to counting, problem-solving, and real camaraderie through this exact sequence. It starts off simple enough. One elephant falls under a tree and needs some help. Then two get stuck in a river. But as the numbers grow, the adversity actually turns into a celebration. By the time we hit 4, they're feasting in a sugarcane field, and at step 5, you've got 5 elephants just dancing joyfully. It's not just a counting drill, right? It's this brilliant mini-narrative showing that as a community grows, problems get solved, and the joy just multiplies.
And the glue tying this whole sequence together is the super simple repetitive call, idara, 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 which means come here, come here, come here. This repetition acts like a hook, reinforcing the idea of teamwork for the listener. It actively shows a child how friends call on each other for backup, whether they're stuck in a river and need a rescue, or hey, they find a massive field of food and want to share it. It's just a beautifully simple lesson in community.
Moving right along to Section 2, The Cow and Our Culture. This is all about the heart of rural life.
So in these rhymes, the cow is way more than just a farm animal. She is an absolute cornerstone of the household. She's described as a provider of milk for everyone, a gentle playmate for the kids and her own calf, and a totally central figure in village economics. We even see her elevated to a spiritual level, getting adorned and worshipped during festivals like Govardhan Puja. It's literally a full 360-degree view of agrarian life, all distilled into a catchy song.
And this part brilliantly illustrates the deep resourcefulness of the culture. These rhymes are teaching kids super early on about upla. They learn that the cow's dung is gathered up, dried into cakes, and then transformed into an absolutely essential fuel. It's used to light the chula, which is the traditional earthen stove used to cook their daily meals. I mean, think about it. It's an early lesson in sustainability and zero-waste living, hidden right there in a playful nursery rhyme. How cool is that?
All right, Section 3, Street Performers and the Moon Uncle. Let's talk about village entertainment.
Enter the Madari. Shifting away from the household yard and out into the social life of a child, we're introduced to Kalu Madari, a traditional street performer. He shows up playing his damaru, that's a small hand drum, and brings along his black bear. The rhyme paints this incredibly vivid picture of an instantly forming, super excited crowd. We even get the names of the kids rushing to watch: Dodo, Bittu, Binny, and Bilu. It perfectly captures that sheer magnetism of street theater in a village setting.
But as the day winds down, the energy obviously has to come down too. So from these high-energy street shows, we naturally transition into soothing lullabies. The visual nostalgia here anchors on the moon, but pay attention to how the moon is personified. It's Chandamama, literally moon uncle, and what's he doing? He's cooking pua, or sweet jaggery pancakes. It takes this vast, dark, potentially scary night sky and makes it feel familiar, familial, and deeply comforting. So the really crucial takeaway here is how the rhyme is secretly acting as a tool for emotional regulation. It navigates a child's emotions just perfectly. In the song, a broken cup, a pyali, causes the child to sulk and throw a bit of a tantrum. But then, it's quickly and lovingly resolved. The caregiver promises brand new cups, accompanied by some happy clapping of hands, and boom, the joy is instantly back. It teaches the child that, hey, sadness is temporary and comfort is always nearby.
Let's ramp the energy back up for Section 4, The Journey of the Wooden Saddle.
Now we're diving into the fast-paced, super rhythmic adventures of a very arrogant horse.
And what's amazing is that the vocal pacing of this rhyme actually mimics a galloping horse, taking us on this rapid, completely unpredictable journey. First, the horse trots to a barber shave at the town square, or choke. Then, he arrogantly marches right into the sabzi mandi, the vegetable market, where he has a freezing, very humbling encounter with slabs of ice. And yet, despite literally shivering, he just keeps boasting about being a well-fed, tough Arabian horse. It's honestly a hilarious study in misplaced pride.
And look at how this is building character recognition for the listener. We can directly contrast that arrogant, boastful Arabian horse who freezes because of his own stubbornness with another character we meet in the source material, a very helpful elephant. This elephant kindly lets a hungry little monkey, who by the way is on his way to study, sit right on his trunk just so he can reach some high-up sweet bananas. It's this beautiful juxtaposition, subtly teaching humility versus helpfulness.
And finally, we arrive at Section 5, the unique feast of the animals. This one's all about unique intersections.
So here we're exploring the delightfully absurd imagery of animals interacting with human logic. The child host in this rhyme actually invites the wandering Elephant King into their own home for a grand feast of halwa puri. It's just a wonderful, imaginative moment that joyfully bridges the gap between the wild animal kingdom and warm human hospitality. The child doesn't see this massive elephant as a threat at all, but rather as an honored guest who totally deserves a delicious home-cooked meal.
But of course, real-world logic has to kick in somewhere, right? Human furniture simply isn't built for elephants. So the rhyme leads to the hilarious inevitable consequence of the elephant trying to sit down. The chair and the swing completely collapse under his massive weight with a loud rhythmic kachar partar. It playfully introduces basic physics and cause and effect, all wrapped up in a giant punchline that pretty much always gets a laugh.
And for our last rhyme, we get this rapid-fire comedic sequence that honestly feels exactly like a cartoon. A cat decides to take a trip to Delhi. She meets a monkey holding peanuts, steals the peanuts, and makes a break for it. While she's fleeing, she literally crashes into a bear on the road, totally panics, scratches the bear, and somehow leaves him completely bald. It's this escalating sequence of pure, chaotic cause and effect that just perfectly captures a child's wild imagination.
So what happens when we weave all of these rhymes together? We realize they aren't just background noise meant to keep children quiet. They are, quite literally, our very first explainers of life. They're secretly teaching us math, empathy, cultural sustainability, and emotional resilience. It really leaves you to wonder, how deeply do these playful beats, these stories of dancing elephants and the moon uncle, continue to shape our worldview and our cultural identity today? I really hope this explainer gave you a whole new appreciation for the genius hiding in plain sight. Keep learning and keep wondering.